Tonight, our special transmission as South Africa calls to an end to Israeli apartheid in the International Court of Justice. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Aisha Ashraf. Today is the 137th day since Israel started its incessant attacks on Palestinian civilians. In the past 24 hours, Israeli forces have conducted 11 attacks. These attacks are being described as massacres, killing at least 118 Palestinians and injuring 163. Witnesses report heavy fire in areas across Gaza, including the territory's main city, Khan Yunis. The World Health Organization has evacuated patients from Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis due to lack of basic amenities and destruction. There is also heavy firing in Rafah city near the Egyptian border. Nearly 1.5 million displaced Palestinians are seeking shelter in Rafah. Palestinian children are staging protests in Gaza, demanding food and water. The children are demanding an end to the war. During the rally, the children held empty pots as an expression of lack of food. An Israeli airstrike in Lebanon has resulted in the deaths of a woman and a 5-year-old girl. The girl is being identified as Amal Eldor. The death toll continues to rise. At the time of writing, 29,313 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli attacks. 70% of these casualties are women and children. Another 8,000 Palestinians are presumed dead under the rubble. South African representatives at the International Court of Justice are calling Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories fundamentally illegal. They are characterizing it as apartheid. South Africa is urging an end to Israel's discriminatory policy. More than 50 nations are presenting arguments on Israel's occupation, settlements, and annexations. Israel continues to build illegal settlements across the occupied West Bank. Currently, there are more than 500,000 settlers in the West Bank. A South African representative told the court that the settlements have extended the temporary nature of the occupation into a permanent violation of the Palestinian right to self-determination. The case of Israel's illegal occupation is separate from a case of Israel carrying out a genocide in Gaza. Israeli representatives are not attending the hearings. Experts say the impact of the World Court's case on Israeli policies remains uncertain and depends on international action. The World Court is anticipated to deliver its ruling in 6 months. Yemen's Houthi rebels claim to have attacked an Israeli cargo ship, the MSC Silver, near the Red Sea entrance. The military group also claims launching drones against U.S. warships in the Red Sea and the Arabian Sea. On the contrary, a British maritime firm has identified the targeted vessel as Liberian flagged, en route to Somalia with ties to Israeli ports. Despite strikes on Houthi sites by the US and the UK, the rebels vowed to target ships linked to Israel until Gaza's war ends. In related news, Egypt's revenues from the Suez Canal have plummeted by 40 to 50% due to heightened tensions in the Red Sea. The drop is due to the disruptions caused by Yemen's Houthi attacks on Israeli-linked ships and U.S. retaliatory airstrikes. The attacks have led to a significant decrease in weekly transits. During the Egypt Energy Show in Cairo, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi revealed transportation through the canal is down by an estimated 42% in the past 2 months. The canal's head says there is a 46% decline in revenues from January last year to January of this year. These revenues are crucial for Egypt's economy. The country is facing soaring inflation, a depreciating local currency, and foreign currency shortages. Egypt's external debt has tripled over the past decade, reaching $164.7 billion. Israel's economy has shrunk by nearly 20% in the final quarter of the previous year. The decline is being attributed to Israel's ongoing war in Gaza. A report by Israel's Central Bureau of Statistics shows a 19.4% annualized GDP contraction. The figure surpasses market expectations. Economic growth rates have declined steadily throughout the year. There has been only 2% growth for the entire past year. This is a sharp drop from 6.5% from 2022. Israel's assault on Palestine has led to global product boycotts, reduced international investment, and disrupted trade. These factors have been causing a decrease in demand, increasing costs, and labor shortages. The cost of the Gaza conflict alone is estimated at $48 billion. A prominent Indian trade union has declared its refusal to handle ships carrying weapons destined for Israel. The union controls laborers at 11 government owned major ports in India. This decision follows recent media reports that Indian made drones are being delivered to Israel. These drones are often used in attacks on Gaza. The move also coincides with reports of Indian Israeli military cooperation, prompting concerns about India's involvement in the Gaza crisis. The General Secretary of the Water Transport Workers Federation has told media outlets the boycott aims to prevent further suffering of Palestinians. The union's boycott applies to any vessels transporting arms to Israel. While the union has not encountered such shipments yet, its action stands as a preemptive gesture and a display of solidarity with Palestinians. Israeli spokesperson Eylon Levy says Israel is determined to carry out a ground offensive in Rafah. He's dismissing Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau's opposition. Levy says Israeli forces have eliminated 18 out of 24 Hamas battalions. He says 4 remain in Rafah while 2 are in Khan Yunis. He justifies ground assault in Rafah for dismantling the infrastructure of Hamas. Levy acknowledges dwindling international support. However, he says it is very necessary to dismantle Hamas infrastructure and secure the surrender of its fighters for the war to end. Police are investigating a mid-flight threat received by Air Canada flight bound for New Jersey, United States. The flight department departed from Halifax, Nova Scotia. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey have confirmed the report of a threat against the flight. The aircraft landed safely at New York Liberty International Airport, with all passengers exiting safely. Photos from a passenger show emergency vehicles on standby and passengers waiting to be taken to the airport building by bus. Flight records indicate departure and arrival as scheduled. Air Canada and the Transportation Safety Board of Canada are aware of the situation. Halifax Stanfield International Airport denies receiving any threats and has not been contacted by New York authorities. Turkish police have arrested a prominent Syrian activist and businessman residing in Türkiye on charges of espionage for a French intelligence agency. Turkish newspaper Sabah reports that Ahmed Kadi was working for the French Directorate General for External Security. The reports say French intelligence had proposed granting Kadi and his family asylum in return for his services. Kadi is known for his activism against Assad's Syrian regime. Turkish authorities allege that Kadi provided false information on Syrian refugees and immigration policies to destabilize Turkey's image in Europe. Kadi and his lawyers deny the allegations. The investigation is ongoing. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Muslim Network TV, which is a not-for-profit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad.